on our Talks About Raptors. We are here in our Eastern Screech Owl exhibit with Red. You can kind of see him back there in the camera, however it is a little bit dark in his log, and he's a little bit shy, so you might not be able to see him perfectly. So Red came to us in 2014. He came from Michigan. If you were to see him up close, he actually, one of his pupils doesn't dilate correctly, so he is not able to adjust to different lights, and that does make him unreleasable. So even though owls mainly hunt based on sound, because he is not fully functioning with all of his senses, he is not able to be a candidate for release, similar to all of our birds here. So you can't really see him in there, but he is a red phase color. So they have two phases, so there's either a gray phase or a red phase, and then there's something kind of in the middle that's more of a brownish, kind of reddish phase. So this makes them perfect for blending into trees. So there are eastern and western screech owls. They are kind of told apart, or you can kind of tell them apart with two different ways. So the first one is where they're found. There is a pretty distinct line kind of down the middle of the United States, and where they don't really cross that line. So eastern, you can probably guess, they're found on the eastern side, and western on the western side, and there's not really a whole lot of overlap between the two ranges. The second way is they do have very different calls. So we're actually going to link in the comments to the two different calls. I'm not going to try to do it. So red is one of the eastern phases, like we said before. And she is a red phase. However, they do have very intricate and ornate striping on them, which perfectly blends them in. They are cavity nesters, which means that they don't build a nest or anything. However, they would like to find a cavity, whether it be in a box that people provide for them, or in a kind of dead tree that has a little space in them. That's going to be where you're finding them the most. They do have little ear tufts on top of their head that when they're kind of blended right up into a tree, their tufts will kind of wave in the wind and they'll perfectly blend in. They're very tough to see, being that they are only about this tall. So we get a lot of questions like, oh, is it a baby owl? Nope, she's full grown. They are just very petite owls. So here in the zoo, Red, since she is a lot smaller than our other birds, does alternate. We either give her hoppers, which are very small mice, or chicks, which are also pretty small. In the wild, they are known as what's called kind of a cache hunter. So they will oftentimes hide the food that they get for up to 4 days, returning back to it, whether it be a mouse, or even something smaller like a shrew or a mole. They're going to eat that same meal for as long as they can. Alright, so we are here with our Peregrine Falcon. We have one Peregrine Falcon. His name is Tuck. And we're not going to go in by him like we did with some of our other raptors because he is one of our more nervous residents. Come to us in 2014. He came all the way from Arizona. He is injured like all of our other birds here. He has a kind of an injury on his nose that never quite fully heals, as well as an injured wing. So if you see him flying kind of about his exhibit, it's very awkward and not conducive to kind of the way that they hunt. So Peregrine Falcons, their kind of claim to fame is they are the fastest animal in the world. So they can hit speeds of up to 242 miles an hour, and they do so in what's called a stoop. So they will fly straight up about a little over half a mile up, and then what they do is they kind of tuck themselves up and they just do kind of a free fall, straight down. So they do this because their main prey is going to be other birds. So in these huge fast free falls, they can take down something as big as a sandhill crane, which stands about 4 feet tall. So they can take something huge down, and then when it's down on the ground, either already dead or just stunned, that is when they will actually move into their prey. So they hunt very uniquely. Most other birds actually grab their prey and hold it. These guys kind of form little fists, and then they're actually going to punch it straight down. So here at the zoo, we do kind of expand their diets. So his favorite food is chicken. However, he does also get rats, rabbit, venison, and mice and chicks, kind of like all of our other birds of prey do. So that's Tuck.